Welcome once again to Victoria, Canada on Vancouver Island, and to the Ford World Men's Curling Championship 2013. Coming to you live from the Save-On Foods Memorial Centre here. Today we're going to bring you live coverage of the game featuring Sweden and the Czech Republic. The Swedish team have 3 wins and 1 defeat so far, losing to China. Czech Republic have 2 wins and 2 losses. So it might be a fairly even game. Sweden have struggled to win all of their games, but they were the winner last week in the big Bonspiel just ahead of this World Championship held in Vancouver. Niklas Edin, skip for Sweden. He has been a past European champion, reigning European champion at the moment. But he is looking this week to add a world title to his roll of honour in the game of curling. So for Sweden, lead is Victor Schell. Playing at second is Fredrik Lindberg. The third for Sweden is Sebastian Kraup. And the skip is Niklas Edin. The alternate is Oscar Eriksson, and the coach is Eva Lund. For the Czech Republic, lead is Marek Vidra. Today playing second, Jindrich Kitzberger, the brother Schnittel at third, and skip Martin and Yeji. Alternate today is Jakub Baresh, and Dan Raphael is the coach. And at this point, after 6 draws, Canada are undefeated on 3 wins, China 3-1 along with Sweden and Scotland, Norway and Switzerland both playing this afternoon on 2 wins, 1 loss, Czech Republic 2-2 alongside Denmark, Japan and the US on 1-3, Finland on 0-3, and Russia bottom of the table on 0-4. Other games across the ice sheets today: China against Russia, Finland and Norway on sheet B, and Canada meet Switzerland on sheet D. Our game is on sheet C this afternoon. And it's a beautiful spring day in Victoria, plus 16 degrees, wall-to-wall sunshine, which it has been for several days. Dan Raphael there, the coach. He is a Canadian, one of several coaching European teams. He's done the rounds, he's coached China, he's coached Italy. Don't know whether you move on when you succeed or whether you move on when you fail, but anyway, here he is with the Czech Republic. So just before we start, I'm joined this afternoon by Rick Watson. What are your thoughts on this game, Rick?
Well, I'm interested to see how Sweden performs. They won this morning against the USA, but once again, it wasn't very pretty. They needed an extra end to defeat the USA. So on the standings board, they're 3-1, but they struggled in all 3 of their wins, beating Finland narrowly, Russia narrowly, and then losing to China. So we'll see how they perform against the Czech Republic, who's at 2-2 right now. The Czech Republic lost to Scotland this morning.
Well, for me, it's the first look at Sweden, but I have seen the Czech Republic in action yesterday, and they certainly didn't have one of their better games there. See what happens today. See if we can identify if Sweden again have a struggle where the problems seem to be lying, because coming into this, Sweden were the real team in form. So see if we can get to the bottom of what might not be firing quite right with this Swedish team. Victor Schell. The team are based in Karlstad in Sweden, although they don't all come from Karlstad originally. Niklas Edin comes from Örnsköldsvik, where we played the European Championships back in 2008. But there is a curling school in Karlstad where they do a lot of practice, and the curling club, which was the home of the B division qualifier at the European Championships back in December. So we've been to Karlstad recently. And the rules of play in the game are that the teams must play 6 ends as a minimum. They have 73 minutes to do that, and they can call on the coach on one occasion during the 10 ends of the game. If they play an extra end, they get another coach chat if they want it. So immediately in the first end, corner guard out for Sweden, and Czech Republic have well placed stone just in front of just at the top of the button. So Jindrik Kitzberger. Trying to follow the stone of Victor Schell round. And he will be a bit short. It is half checked on the top yellow stone. Oh. I didn't see anybody kick that, but must have done. So Edin calling for the removal of both these Czech guard stones, the 2 yellows, so that he can get at the red stone of his own to promote to the button. Well, they go, but the guard's replaced with a Swedish stone.
Kitzberger will freeze to the top of the red stone.
So the straight raise this time for Fredrik Lindberg, and he's mixed them up a bit, but he hasn't removed everything from play, notably The back check stone is behind the tee now. A little bit off target with that, but he did shift the guard out the way and sent the Swedish stone a little bit in towards the left behind that corner guard, or partially covered. Not enough to be too troublesome, I don't think, for Schnittel. Schnittel the younger.
Hit and roll to the middle. Dean asking for the hit and roll behind the corner guard. Not sure if they can make the double and accomplish that at the same time.
Third player for Edin.
He makes the double, but he'll stick right there, remaining in the open.
So a nice shot from Martin Schnittel. So Dean calling for the draw round behind that guard once more. And it should draw quite a lot in the last metre or two. So he's hoping to be able to come around that guard and still face up to the check stone lying first shot. At the moment it looks a little bit wide. He could pass the stone, or be close to that. Oh, it just edges off it. Well, that now gives a chance for Easy Schnittel to tap that back and roll in behind to leave checks lying too guarded.
Could also roll to the other behind the other corner guard.
I think the problem with that will be that he would roll. He would finish up behind the tee line. So
right.
Nothing's straightforward, of course. If you do that, go that way as you suggest, it will be behind the tee line. If you go the other way, you're bunching the two stones quite close together. Danger of leaving a double takeout. Opportunity. So Schnittel, the elder, usually skipping this. This one needs to curl a bit, or it is going to hit and roll out. Didn't seem to curl very much down that line.
No.
So another chance for Edin to come round behind this stone and face the check. Shot, counting first shot.
Det var ändå bak 8. Ja, det var det. Det var 12. Bredvid den andra eller in bakom. Kommer bakom ska den nästan överdra den. Så bara en frysare och 2 vet. Okej, i stort sett samma som på bidraget. Ja.
Nicholas Edin, as Richard mentioned, is from Örnsköldsvik, Sweden. Small town of only 30,000 or so, but it's produced obviously Nicholas Edin and hockey players Peter Forsberg and Marcus Naslund and the Sedin brothers, so must be something in the water in that town.
Again passing the stone by a long way. Well, Dean will lie first shot, but behind the tee line,
Yeah, it's behind cover, but it's behind the tee line as well.
And it's a fairly open way in. Schnittel could come down, just tap it back. A few centimetres, lie first and second shots. That looks like the ice he has been given by his brother Martin to do just that. So Jiří Schnittel, this team from the Brno Curling Club in the Czech Republic, but they play in Prague. I was going to say in the new curling club, but the new curling club is now about 10 years old, 11 years old. It's certainly a very good facility. Attracts curlers from all over Eastern Europe. Good looking shot from
Good shot.
Schnittel.
No chance for a deuce here for Sweden. Edin will just follow that shot down and take a single point here in one. Sweepers are going hard on this one. Needs to bite the forefoot at least.
Well, that was great sweeping to get that stone there. Niklas Edin and his Swedish champions will score a single point in the first end to lead 1-0.
Welcome back inside the Save On Foods Memorial Center here in Victoria, British Columbia, Canada for the Ford World Men's Curling Championship. We are starting the second end of play in this game between Sweden and the Czech Republic. Sweden picking up a single point in the first end. First stone from Victor Schell goes as a center guard.
Czechs just want this to stop before the tee line, which it does, perfectly positioned by Marek Vitra. Victor Shaw will try and follow this on the other hand.
Yeah, interesting. They chose the other turn there.
Well played. Just tapping that check stone to just behind the tee line, centre line of the house.
Sweeper saying the weight's a bit up this time. Over to sheet D for an update. Canada, the lone undefeated team, taking on Switzerland in this afternoon draw. Canadian skip Brad Jacobs drawing for 1 against 2 Swiss counters. Jacobs and his team from Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario, won their first Canadian championship this year. And he will put it into the forefoot for a single point here in 1. Canada leads 1-0 over Switzerland. Looks like we have a faulty handle on the check stone.
So, yes.
So they're just going to play on, and the official will stand at the hog line to make sure there's no violation.
So Kirchberger just taking that stone away. Nothing in front of the rings now.
Over to Finland, Norway for an update. Finland looking for their first win of the event. Norwegian skip Thomas Ulsrud drawing for a second point here in the first end. Already lying 1. Norway comes into this game with a 2 wins and 1 loss record. And he puts it right on the Ford logo on the button. So Norway jumps out to a 2-0 lead after one end there.
And meanwhile, back in our feature game, Fredrik Lindberg trying to remove the check stones and save his own. Well, one of them goes, the other one sticks right in the back of the house. Sweden will lie 3, however, ahead of that one. So it's now up to Kipsberger to remove one of these and lie.
He jams it. Sweden continues to lie 2. There's ice maker Hans Wuthrick.
So the ice conditions, critical component of championship curling to try to ensure the best possible games can be played. Naturally, we want the best possible ice to play them on. So,
there's Czech coach Daniel Raphael. Keeping track of all the rocks on his computer.
Martin Schnittel. Going for the hit and roll here to roll across the second shot. Freeze it. Oh, fairly good. Just wanted to roll a little bit further there, Schnittel. It's half checking the back one. It could probably be removed and leave the Swedish stone there, but they're leaving it in at the moment. Nickel Sedin's coach is Eva Lund. Sweden hits the back one to lie third shot. And a bit surprised at this nomination. Usually Schnittel is asking for a stone just to freeze onto that back one. Wouldn't be first shot back there. Only third shot if it succeeds.
Yeah, it's behind the tee line, so you think they'd ignore it for the most part.
It's going to over curl. It has a bit.
Czech Republic lies second and third shot.
Oavsett om vi river den där eller inte kommer de slå på det här sen. Flera bort. De kommer slå där framme då.
So, Nadine going to take this out. I think he's hoping to perhaps leave the backing on it. Well, He will hit and go, leaving the back stone there. Just going to look at this shot, working out the angles where the stones will end up after he hits his own yellow shot here. I think for the Czechs, they have last stone here, but still don't want to be lying 2 or 3 Swedish stones and only one Czech one in the house, so he does need to try to retain the stone he's going to play with as well as that one that's in the house.
Yeah, I'd like to be lying 2 at the end of this.
Schnittel just wants to hit that yellow one onto the red and roll the shooter off to the left, which it will do probably anyway, and keep the 2 yellow stones in play and not leave them as a double takeout opportunity for Edin. So 3 stones remaining here, including this one. He's not playing much weight at this.
He punches it out. It's a pretty easy double for Nicholas Edin, though. 2 stones are very close together. Here comes the heat from Nicholas Edin, trying to slash out these 2 Czech stones and force a single from Schnittel. And the broom is already down from Brother Martin. It'll be a draw for 1.
So Jiří Schnittel here, last stone of the second end, drawing for 1 against 2 Swedish stones. Forced into that by Edin, who wants to get the last stone advantage back going into end 3, which he will do as a result of that point to the Czechs. So the score after 2 ends here in Victoria is Sweden 1, Czech Republic 1.
Updating you now on China and Russia on sheet A. It's about 15 rocks in play for this last stone from Leo Ray. About 9 of them are in the 4-foot circle. China 3-1, looking to move up to 4-1. And after China moves a bunch of stones around, the result is a single point. So China leads 1-0 after 2 ends there. Back on sheet C, we're underway in the 3rd end. First stone came into the house from the Czech Republic. Victor Schell will now throw up the corner guard.
Fajn, fajn, si, easy. Musí točit, jo? Dobrý bude. Je dobrý. Ale ještě chvíle můžem. Yep. Sen. Yep. Spíš ne. No. Jo. Jo, musí točit. Fajn, nesmí do kruhu. Super.
The Czechs will guard their shot stone. Dean calls for the tap back of the stone on the top of the 4-foot. He'll tap it to the back of the house and roll out into the open. Nose hit there from Kitzberger. Frederick Lindbergh will now try to hit and roll undercover. That was a better roll, but it's still about 3/4 exposed.
So the raise onto the Swedish stone being indicated by Easy Schnittel for Kitzberger. Pretty good shot from him. Czech slide 2 at the moment. One at the back just holding in there. And back to the game between Canada and Switzerland. The last stone from Sven Michel. Attempt to get 2 or 3 shots here if he can just tap the Canadian stone out of the 4-foot circle. Gets past the first guard. Oh, just catches the second one. And there was a chance there for 3, but instead it will be 1 for Switzerland. Sven Michel.
Przetočit, no, przetočit.
Memorial Center, the flags are out. There's a quick update on the other games going on over on sheet 8. China taking on Russia. Win still.
This time it will be Martin Schnittel going for the
1-0 China. Next to them it is Finland, Norway. Norway gets a deuce.
Rees takeout.
One back by the Finns in the second, so 2-1 there. 1 Republic. Sheet C. Sheet D. Draw 7.
Keep the brushes on this one. It's drawing off. Good chance of. Well, he gets a bit lucky. Over curled a little bit, but he gets the raise and the roll in behind the corner guard. So Edin has the last stone advantage here. Just indicating to Sebastian Kraup to draw behind the centre guard of belonging to the Czechs.
Bara för linjen. Jag tror farten är okej. Jag tror farten är okej. Kommer nu. Kommer nu. Bara fart. Kör, kör. Bara fart. Linjen är perfekt.
To sweep it for line here. Keep it as much as possible from throwing onto that stone, which he does. So, great shot. Just draws round to be the top of the 4-foot circle.
Completely buried behind that guard.
So yet another raise attempt for the Czechs here. Third one in a row. Every time they clear the stone out of the house, another one pops round behind from Sweden. This needs to curl a little bit. And eventually they get the miss.
So now Sweden can draw another one in there to lie 2. They do have the hammer here in the third end.
So what would you do? Draw to guard the one they've got, or right round behind the guard?
I'd go behind the guard.
Well, I think that's what he's up to here. Forcing the play onto the stone that the Czechs will be able to see.
He's got to curl a lot here. Now how far can they drag it? Well, it is behind the guard, but it's well behind the tee line. Good for second shot.
So a bit too heavy there from Kraup. Sweden, of course, trying to score more than 1 point here when they have the last stone advantage.
Det jag inte gillar är att vi håller helt upp när det går så långt ut. Vi går utanför uppspelspår. Helt upp. Jag ropar i sop ganska tidigt.
Just trying to get the roll off this in behind the guard, which they already have. Could have been late sweeping there.
Yeah, they
were.
did.
They should have been onto that quicker, and they'd have got it in behind the guard. As it is, it can be seen from the other end by Nicholas Edin.
Så vi har råd, ifall den curlar ska vi ha råd att komma kapp. Ja, då kan ju även gå halvträff, jämna fast den. Den ligger i och för sig bara tredje, men...
Sweden needs to avoid the jam on the back red stone.
So it's important here to not jam that yellow onto the red. Take it out through the gap on the right and roll his red shooter stone off to the left to leave Sweden lying 2 at the end of this. So he has to play a little bit of controlled weight here so that he gets the right direction for that stone to pass out of the house.
Are they trying to roll away, or are they trying to play it tight to the guard and roll behind the guard?
Well, the roll away is a lot simpler.
It is.
And I don't think it's any the worse, but Edin could be trying to roll tight in behind to try and set up the chance of a 3. It's looking that way. Well,
he's certainly rolling away.
Yeah, I really think the other shot wasn't on, but he has left a double takeout chance for the Czechs now. Possibly catch the backstone on the yellow shot that's lying just touching the blue 12-foot circle at the back of the house there.
Yeah, or at least a hit and roll in front of it.
So this end showing the possibility of a 2 for Sweden. So the roll across in front of that second red stone. The ideal shot for Schnittel, and throwing pretty big weight at it, so looks to me as if he's going for the double. They were onto it straight away, he's caught it too full and it won't roll far enough. Now leaving Edin a fairly simple takeout for his 2.
Schnittel not happy with himself on that one.
Well, it wasn't really close to what he wanted in terms of direction. So controlled weight here from Edin, but it needs to curl, and it will, and stick for 2. And the Swedish team will now take a 3-1 lead into the 4th end with that pair from Niklas Edin in end number 3.
That's the opposite of fishing. Free chocolates from the Swiss contingent. Happy Easter. Back inside the Save on Foods Memorial Center for the fourth end of play. Sweden picking up 2 on the third there, so Czech Republic will have the hammer, playing the Yellow Stones. Marek Vidra is curling 85% thus far in the event.
Okay. Easy. Low höjdöst. Low höjdöst. Moment další než
Victor Schell curling 89%. Good for 6th among all leads.
Well, too far up with that one, allowing the double takeout. That's a good shot from Victor.
This is actually only Marek Vidra's second game of the event. The other games the Czech Republic has played, Kitzberger played lead and Jakub Baraš played second. Fredrik Lindberg at 84% coming into this game. That's 5th among all the seconds. Canada taking on Switzerland over on sheet D in the third end. We're tied at 1, but Brad Jacobs has an open draw for 2. As we mentioned, Canada, the lone undefeated team here on Monday afternoon. They were the lone undefeated team after Sunday evening, actually. Beating Scotland last night. So there it is on the button, a deuce for Canada in the third end. They'll take a 3-1 lead on Switzerland. Kitzberger at 80% thus far in the week. His other games that he's played were actually at the lead position. He was actually 12th among leads, so I wonder if that had anything to do with the decision to move him down to, or move him up to second.
Well, he's listed in the team lineup as second, so don't know why he's being placed at lead all the time. Sebastian Kraup at 82% for the first 4 games. And for me, this game has all the look about it of the coach instructing a different, a clearer strategy for Edin than he has been playing up till now. Not too much of a risky game until he's got a bit of control of the game. So Victor Schell put both his stones in the house at this end. And Nadine's been quite happy just to hit everything out of play since then. Keep it really clear. He may try late in the end to try and force Schnittel to take a single point and then have another go for 2 himself. Right now he's just clearing the guards away.
Peel away the guard. Pretty open end here in the 4th.
Well, this is negative strategy from Schnittel here. He's 2 down. He's got last stone advantage and he's just hitting the Edin shot out of play.
Over to sheet B. In the 3rd end, Norway taking on winless Finland. Thomas Ulsrud with the hammer. Looks like he's lying 2 already. He'll come up short with his draw for 3 attempt. Still a deuce for Norway, and they'll take a 4-1 lead through 3 ends of play.
Schnittel, 73% so far. And that's not really good enough if you're heading for or trying to head for the playoffs at the end of the week. Houses are lightning fast. This one could go out. Well, it's still in play.
Looks like it's out of the house, but still in play.
Yep. So allowing Edin the chance to draw right to it, freeze it. If he can do this, there's the chance, because it's out of play, he doesn't need to worry about it being a counting shot for the Czechs, but it does allow him to have a go at freezing it. It's like a free bonus offer here for Edin. And if he can get something out of this with a good freeze, force Schnittel to take one. Edin on 83% after his first 4 games. He'll have to work it hard to get it. He doesn't want to push the stone out of play in the process. It has to stay there. Well, that's a pretty good attempt from Niklas Edin. Sweepers maybe lost it slightly. Could have been right next to it. They just upped the brushes for a bit further back.
They had to sweep for
one sweeper
weight,
allowed
and then it
after.
didn't.
Yeah, one sweeper allowed after the tee line. Needed to be closer if it's going to cause any real trouble. So I think Schnittel should be able to hit this and run out. Trying to blank the end to hold last stone for end number 5. Doesn't want to take one here. No problem.
Gets rid of everything.
So it will be a blank end. And the Czech Republic will hold the last stone advantage going into the 5th end. Last stone advantage going into the 5th end.
Back inside the Save on Foods Memorial Center for draw number 7 of the Ford World Men's Curling Championships here in 2013. Czech Republic blanked that 4th end, so they will retain the last rock advantage here in the 5th. First rock comes into the house from Victor Schell.
Deliberate policy on the part of Edin to put the first stone right on the 4-foot, on the 1-foot. And the Czech Republic posed really no threat to Edin in trying to pick up 2 points for themselves at the last end.
Stop.
And if this rolls in, well, it's not going to. They've got their corner guard, so that's what they really needed. This time Victor Schell will try and place his second stone just in front of the house. Well, this is wide and heavy. Ends up leaving 2 stones right on the button. Not the best shot from Victor Schell there.
No, there's a bit of a pocket there that Schnittl could draw to.
Second stone of Marek Vidra. Just sweeping for the line here. I think it's good enough weight.
Little tap back. Sweden lies 2.
And immediately Edin once again moving the guards away. Taking no chances. Determined to prevent Schnittl from picking up 2 shots and squaring the game. Czechs have last stone. Berger.
Si můžeš, neublížíš mu? Nejede tak rychle. Pojď, nejede tak rychle. Můžeš až do konce, jede hezky. Fajn čistit. Je fajn, super. Dík.
So the corner guard back on again, and Edin will remove it once more. This time the player. Fredrik Lindberg.
Ligger 2 nu, så det ligger helt okej faktiskt. De måste nog täpa någon gång.
Så där slider bättre på den här. Lägga tillbaka en lite. Ja.
Persisting with the same strategy. Even trying to put the stone in the same place. I think it might be in their interest to vary the position of the guards, maybe go to the other side.
Yeah, Team Sweden doesn't seem to have a problem with peeling guards on this side of the sheet.
Another one.
Freeze na ten náš žlutý, ještě
Vedu, no.
Freeze ještě na ten náš žlutý.
Samý kousek
Můžeme
s tím.
s ním čuknout.
Naopak bychom měli.
Naopak bychom měli.
A ještě Artine, když tohle bouchneš, tak on navalí před něj a my zůstaneme tady.
So now they're calling something other than a guard. Can you make a play on those stones in the house?
To teď nějak nevybavuju, jak se to stojí. Nevím, jak to má dopadnout, ale...
Si to ujasní?
Ne, to je jako taky jasný, že...
Hej, zatím.
Hej!
Jup. Jup. Wow. Čistí. Wow. Wow.
So no more corner guards, this time making a play on the shots in the 4-foot, 1-foot circle. And that one didn't end up well. It can be hit on the nose, and both these yellows will fly out of the house, leaving Sweden lying 2. Sebastian Kraup needs to hit this on the nose to remove them both and leave the redstone still lying there. And he does, hitting and rolling across to lie 2 for Sweden now. So, unless they can get a double, Schniedel will be forced to take the single point here, unless he can get a double takeout.
Vedle něj, ale budeme pak mít ten double do nuly zase. Co je rád?
Asi bych dal takhle 8.
Sjep.
Takhle známe ten směr, to jede rovně.
Pojď rád, 3-0.
Martin Schniedel
Lepší.
going for the double.
Jup, jup.
He's not far away.
Pojď Máro.
Well, rolls across, but there's no backing behind that, so it can be easily removed, and Dean roll to the other side again. Meanwhile, over on sheet A, China playing Russia. 1-1 after 3. Liu Ri has the last stone here. And he has a tap up for 3. Looks like he's made it. China line 2 before that shot, just nudging the redstone forward to give them 3. To grab a 4-1 lead. So for Adin, the need here is to pick that yellow one out without really disturbing his redstone too much and keep his shooter in play as far away from the other redstone as possible.
Yeah, as long as he doesn't line up a double here in his next 2 shots, he'll be forcing the checks to a single point.
Well, unfortunately, he's left a pretty easy double for Schniedel.
Update you now on sheet D, Canada and the Swiss. After a great double takeout from Brad Jacobs with his last stone, Swiss skip Sven Michael drawing against 2. Sweepers are on it all the way. And this will come up light, so it's a steal of 2 for Canada over on sheet D, giving the Canadians a 5-1 lead through 4 ends.
Really poor shot from Michelle with 2 stones to come to there. We're back in our game. Easy Schnittel. Instead of taking the 2 out, he's trying to freeze onto one of these. Have a go at picking up 2 points himself. It has to be very accurate freeze though. Oh well. I'm not sure he was freezing, to be honest. I think he was hoping for the hit and roll in front of the second stone.
Yeah, that was his only chance at a deuce at that point. Rather than the double takeout. So Edin will look to hit this yellow stone out and roll far away from his other red Swedish counter, forcing Schnittel to a single point.
Pretty close this time, but again he leaves the stones quite close together. Still, it's a challenge for Schnittel. He has to.
It's a tough double to get both of them and roll out, I think.
Yes. I think you can make the double and your shooter will stick, but because they're so flat across from each other, it's difficult to take your shooter stone out as well. So you've got to go for very small connection on the first one. So if he's really trying to do that, it's high risk. He could end up missing everything, of course. And then it would be a steal for Sweden. So potentially big point here. Well, he's not playing any particular weight at this. Really, I think happy just to take the single point. Which he will do, I think.
Hit and stick from Schnittel.
So mission accomplished from Niklas Edin there, forcing Schnittel to take a single point. Narrows the score to 3-2, but with it the last stone advantage comes back to Niklas Edin and his Swedish team here.
So here we are in the first end. Sweden drawing for 1. Niklas Edin looking for his 4th win of the championships. The sweepers just drag it into the 4-foot for the single point. Off to the second end. Facing 2 red Swedish counters. Check skip SWE-CZE Schnittel. Needs to draw a full 12-foot for his single point. And he will put it on the button. We are all tied up after 2. On to the third end now. And Niklas Edin picking up the first deuce of the game with a hit and stick. And we are at 3-2 after 5 ends. Can update you also on Finland-Norway happening on sheet B. Finland looking for their first win, taking on the Norwegians. Final stone of the 4th end. Skip Aku Kauste. Looking to draw for a single point. Just needs to bite the 8-foot, and he will do that, trimming the Norwegian lead to 4-2 through 4 ends. There's other games happening right now. China leading Russia 4-1 and playing in the 5th end. As we just saw, Norway leading the Finns 4-2, and the host team of Canada is up 5-1 on the Swiss playing in the 5th end.
Du bara sätta lite sten. Det går enkelt plötsligt.
Kan jag lura med? Det är bättre att köra alla imorgon, för jag blir ingen som förväntar sig.
Din källaren sinar ju aldrig den, Peja.
So through 5 ends of play, 3-2, Sweden leads on the scoreboard, out-curling the Czechs by a count of 94% to 87%. Pretty even at the draw shots, 91 to 90. But it hits, that's the Swedes' specialty, 96% to 84 for the Czech, and there's been no steals thus far. And only the 1 deuce that by the Swedes in the 3rd end.
Blueberry muffin on the agenda there. One of the nice things when you visit Canada, you can't go without some of those.
So the 6th end is underway. Marek Vidra curling 90% thus far in the game. Victor Schell curling 88% through 5 ends.
Bite 4. Farten är bra. Bara bite 4 den här gången.
Farten är bra.
Bara bite 4. Ni har den. Linjen är bra. Perfekt. Bara bite 4. Bra.
So around the guard he goes, as ordered. And now that Nicholas Edin has the last stone advantage again here in the 6th end, he'll be looking to try and score at least 2 points. Basically, the Czech Republic are going to try and make sure that he only scores 1, or indeed they try to get a steal of a point. things work out their way. So
a live look in at sheet D, Canada and Switzerland. Last rock of the 5th end. Switzerland looking for a double takeout for 2. He will roll under the 2nd rock. Another steal for Canada. This one is a single point. So Canada jumps up to a 6-1 lead through 5 ends of play.
jednou ranou. Měli bychom to nějak udělat jinak. Dara, tak.
Kitzberger curling 90% through 5 ends. He will tap up both those yellow guards and split them open.
Så. Finns ingen bra dubbel som inte riskerar att sätta ner den här. Jag gillar nästan att runda igen, ja.
And Sebastian Kraut coming down to have a look at this setup. Just to agree with the Dean what to do here.
Klicka hit. Även den här får ju ut den lite. Kommer bort. Det känns som att de här 3 framme är lite farliga. Vi kommer behöva.
Ja, det tycker jag också.
Jag tycker på någon av dem. Sen vilken vi tar det. Det är ganska lite chans att jämna den där liksom. Jag gillar den på något sätt.
Det kommer nästan ta den andra i så fall. Köra den så på att sticka fast den, så ligger den kvar framför där och så rullar vi corner eller...
Det är helt okej.
Spela den så! 7 deci mellan de två. Den är lite högre än den, så bara sätt ner den någonstans i en sida där.
Få bort centerspelet liksom.
So I think they're going to run the top yellow straight back and double off the 2 biting the 12-foot.
Certainly going to try that, and I think if one of them gets away, it'll be pretty well played. So Lindberg, 98% in this game. It's a pretty good
Just
result.
like they called.
1 check stone remaining after that. So a chance now to come round behind for Hendrik Kitzberger.
Rajnom, 2.
Bez kuše, jo. Pak na ten konec vypadá, že jede hezky. Jenom čistí. Rychlost má fajn. Bude trošku přetáčet, tak nic. Nic.
Well,
Over on sheet B, the Finns and the Norwegians. Last rock of the 5th end. Thomas Ulsrud facing 1 Finnish counter. Looks like he can draw for one, or maybe possibly if he moves it enough, he can get two. He's outside. It'll be a steal of one for Finland here in the fifth end. So they go to the break with Norway leading 4-3.
Back here meantime. Lindberg draws behind to lie 2 shots. And attempt here to raise that yellow one onto the first of the 2 reds and remove it, hoping to retain his own counter in the process.
Martin Schnittel at 93% through 5 ends of play.
Is he going to get the right angle on this? No, he's not.
He'll just pick his own stone out.
Well, there was always that danger. It's a big chance now for Nicholas Edin. He's got last stone advantage here. Lies 2, partly guarded by that short stone from the Czechs.
Just nu har de ingenting annat än den. Ja, men jag gillar den. Så klipp, i och för sig. Ja, men det jag gillar den, det är bra. Jag får ta på om den här är bättre. Ja, nej, så kan vi spela med... Ifall de limmar dit den och vi klipper garden så kan den där bli ett stöd här ute. Ja, fast... Ja, det ja, fast här... Lägger vi den när de skjuter garden kanske också. Ja, jag gillar här. Hej. Man kan spela en sarg med mitt. Ja,
So the draw to the wing, the nominated shot for Edin here, and Sebastian Kraup playing 93% in this game so far. Just drawing away from the 2 stones in the middle. And it's pretty steamy, this one, pretty fast. Is he going to stop before it goes out the back? Oh my goodness, it's a big miss from Kraup.
Might still be biting.
I think it's out, although Edin having a close look at it. Hard to tell from any angle really, unless you're down there, but I think that stone is out. Important miss for the Czechs from Kraup. Well, I'm a bit surprised the Czechs aren't coming on the other hand here and just coming to freeze the closer of the 2 stones. They've got to look for a steal to get back into this game. Well,
tap back.
Yeah, not very heavy, and it leaves Sweden still lying 2. So another chance for them to perhaps lie 3 again. Coming around the guard on the left as we look at it from the player's position is an option. Possible to get the situation. So, aiming to remove the guard from play on the basis it provides too much danger for Edin, chance for the Czechs just to draw right round it. The guard was right on the centre line, so Schnittl could have drawn right round to lie first shot. Might be difficult to remove. Quite conservative play from Edin. He is leading 3-2 here in the 6th. He has got last stone, he already lies 2, so rather than getting too greedy, he's happy just to remove the guard. And we're down to skip stones here. Jiří Schnittl first of all.
Si myslí, že tam je, proto střílel ten guard.
See Martin Schnittl trying to figure out if that rock is in or out, covering one eyeball.
I'm not sure they'll need to worry too much about that one here. 75% over the first 5 ends for Jiří Schnittl. Just trying to remove this back one and lie in its place.
Well, unless Schnittl makes a great shot with his last stone, it looks like we're in for another Swedish deuce. That's more like the Niklas Edin we're used to seeing, 98%. Nice quiet takeout weight from Niklas Edin. Sweden lies 2 with the hammer here in the 6th end.
We're down to the last stone for Schnittl. And high probability of 2 shots for Sweden coming up here. He needs to hit and roll in behind and lie first shot to have any chance. So, just going to try and roll across. Prevent Niklas Edin from getting 2 more shots here. Looks pretty much on the nose with this one. And it's a straightforward hit for Edin to get his 2.
Last rock of the 6th end for Niklas Edin and Team Sweden, looking to pick up their 2nd deuce of the game.
Looks bang on target. Well,
couldn't have rolled much further.
So it will be 2 points for Sweden in the 6th end. And their 3-2 advantage jumps to a 5-2 lead after 6 here in the Save On Foods Memorial Centre in Victoria.
Some more outfits in the stands. Guy's got a curling rock on his head. Off to the 7th end here, Sweden and the Czech Republic. Sweden picking up another 2 in 6 to lead 5-2. Victor Schell draws into the house.
Well, I think it's pretty clear Nicholas Edin has a little bit more conservative game plan than some of his earlier games. But he is making the most of it, getting 2 points, trying to force the end just enough to get 2 points. Not too much, not deploying very much risk in his play, but it's working for him because he is 3 up and he's pretty much neutered the Czechs when it comes to them getting a 2 or a steal. They've never looked like stealing, not at all in the whole game, and they've really not looked like getting a 2 either.
A live look in now at Canada and Switzerland. Canada has Switzerland on the ropes yet again, lying 2. Swiss skip Sven Mikkel looking to hit and stick to pick up a single point. And he will jam, but that's okay. He's got shot rock. He'll get his single point in the 6th to trail Canada 6-2.
So once more, 2 stones of Victor Schell in the top of the 4-foot circle. One of them is removed, the other one is partially behind the yellow stone of the Czechs, and the Dean will go to remove the corner guard and concentrate on trying to make sure that the play for the rest of the end is in the house. And this whole game has been dictated by Edin. He has driven the play, made sure that it's where he wants it, and the stones are more or less where he would like them. And Jiří Schnittel has had to react rather than be proactive in whatever he's trying to do.
Update you now on China and Russia over on sheet A. Russia trailing 4-1 in the 6th end. Skip Andrei Drozdov looking to hit and stick for a single point against 3 Chinese rocks, it looked like. And he will do that to pick up a single point. China still leads 4-2 through 6 ends of play.
So the corner guard up on the other side for this next shot from Edin. So hits and goes. Fredrik Lindberg. And Schnittel is asking for Kitzberger to put the guard back up on the side where the 2 stones are behind.
Nasměr na začátku, aby pak nepřetočil ten konec.
Jestli můžeš.
Another peel called by Edin.
And won't mind at all if Kraup can run this stone straight at the yellow in the house as well and lift the two of them and remove his shooter. Well, looks a bit high for that. Hits and goes. Keeping the same line for the guard to be re-established. Coming a bit closer this time. So bigger chance of lifting the two. The angles are quite nice for Adine to take the two yellows away here and roll the shooter out of play in the process. And again, it will be Kraup, his second stone here in the 8th end. Beg your pardon, 7th end. It's just a single peel off again.
Yep.
So now, interestingly, Schnittl has asked his brother to freeze onto the back red stone of Sweden's. The danger with this, of course, is that the two yellows will be very close together. Needs to get a good connection to the back red counter, not leave it easy to remove. Well, that's a pretty good attempt.
Bounces off a bit.
Yep, the gap's too big, and there's a big chance here to remove both the yellow stones and leave the red one in the back there. Probably he can hit it at the right angle that his shooter will run off to the left as we look at it from that overhead shot. And by the end of this, Adine could be lying two. This is his first stone here in the 7th end.
Just needs to hit it slightly on the center line side.
Yeah, the shooter should stay in all right as long as he's got good accuracy here. Certainly got big weight. Has he got the angle right? I think he has. Yes. Played as predicted. Precisely, I might add. Doesn't happen very often, Rick. That's exactly what he wanted. Just glances the second one out, rolls across to lie two. He's been waiting for that all end.
When you throw that kind of weight, all you have to do is make any kind of contact with the second stone and they're both going.
And it certainly takes a big chunk of skill to throw that weight with accuracy. That doesn't happen just by turning up at the World Championships with no practice in advance anyway. The hours spent in the Karlstad Curling Club, worth it for Adine. So, back to the drawing board for Schnittl. Trailing by 3. He has last stone advantage here and he has to try and get 2 back. But it's all set up for the Swedes forcing Schnittl to take 1 point. Unless he can freeze this right on the stone. Well, it's a very good attempt. There's only perhaps a few centimetres between these two stones. That was a really good shot from Yuji Schnittl. He badly needs it at this point in the game. Trailing by 3. Now we'll see a big weight from Adine. If you thought the last one was a heavy stone, have a look at this one.
Yeah. He throws this hard even though they are almost frozen. There's enough space there that he should be able to squirt this yellow one out straight sideways.
We need a speedometer on this. Might be able to get a time. My timer next to me is all set for this.
Probably about 2.5 seconds. Hog to hog. And there they all go.
4.88. From going over the first hog line to connection. Well, they all went, but mission accomplished as far, partially anyway, as far as Schnietel's concerned. And it depends very much whether that back stone is in or not. I didn't think it was earlier, but I think it is now,
so
looking at it. So Schnietel will have to hit and stick here to take his single point, or else just a controlled weight take out on this stone in the top of the forefoot. It needs to curl a bit. Yeah, I think it's pretty much on target for a single point. So Czechs once again forced into taking one stone by Niklas Edin, who gets the advantage of the last stone back again, going down the 8th end. So 5-3 Sweden lead, but they do have the last stone advantage and the hammer going down number 8.
Back inside the Save-On Foods Memorial Center here in Victoria, British Columbia, Canada. Fans from all nations are supporting their respective teams, including those Swiss fans you just saw taking on Canada. Our game is Sweden versus Czech Republic, playing in the 8th end. Sweden is up 2, and they have the hammer.
So Victor Schell just trying to put the stone in the house on the wing. Could be a bit heavy. Well, it will stick around. And Schnietel just asking for the come around into the 4-foot circle. And well, start showing Vidra a few points ahead. The game score doesn't reflect that. At 5-3 in favour of Sweden.
Over to sheet A for an update. China playing Russia. Russia lying 2. Chinese skip Liu Rei is looking to hit and stick for a single point. China is trying to hand Russia their 5th loss. And there's the hit and stick. So China will take a 5-2 lead through 7 ends of play.
And Victor Schell drawing round behind. Not quite hidden, but nicely placed in the top 8-foot circle there to lie 2 for Sweden. And once more, we can watch Edin dictating the play in this end, where the stones are going to be placed, and he is already looking good to pick up 2 points, although there's a long way to go in the end. Second player, Kitzberger. He's trying to follow. So Edin had enough of these guards to try and get rid of them. They are the stones that pose the danger to him losing more than a point in the end here. He's trying to clear the front one first of all.
There's a comparison at second. Both players with exceptional numbers through 7 ends. Lindberg at 98%.
Centerline guards go up. Of course, with no surprise.
So once again the clearance of the guard by Lindberg. Can he move more than one? No, he can't. Martin Schnittel will play next for the Czech Republic. Third player.
Championship. One of the most experienced Briar Fields past memory.
Easy, easy,
Nicholas, get fine, put it down.
Guard once more being established by the Czech team. A little bit higher, further away from the stones in play at the top of the house and in the house. So Nicholas Edin once more asking for the guard to be removed. He won't mind too much if the guard stone jams onto the next one and moves more than one, as long as the shooter spins out of play as well.
Just peel the top stone.
Já si myslím, že to tam je. Jako takovou poslat lehce vedle komory.
Tenhle úhel tady míří blbě.
Trefuje. Budeme tam trošku rozdělení, ale budeme stát 1-2, že jo? To je důležitý.
Ještě jeden guard. Ještě brzo.
Je o to, že když teď zahrajeme guard, tak on může jít druhým dovnitř, jo? A druhý je lepší, va? A my už se tam nedostaneme, protože to budeme mít za 2 guardama.
Ale... A nepojede on potom druhým lepším?
Druhým lepším za nás? Za všechno? A ty už se tam pak nedostaneš?
Je otázka, kdy on pojede druhým lepším.
So having a look at this shot, Schnittel just asking his brother to come right round behind and lie the first shot, I think, in this particular instance. They need to make a move at some point. And, they're lying 2 against, but they do have some guards established at the front. So
There's a comparison at third. Schnittel at 91%. Kraup at 88. Only 63% on his draws.
that could reflect the fact he's only maybe played 2 and made 1 and a bit of them.
Yeah.
So it's percentages can be a little bit subjective. So a little bit surprised they're coming round this way, or trying to. And he will end up short. Well, that's a poor shot because it allows Niklas Edin to certainly have a good go at removing more than 1 check stone with this next shot.
He wants to talk to Kraup.
Kan ju spela en lite hård så här också.
Ja, det jag funderar på.
Bort den.
Dock så är det ganska...
Ligger vi kvar här är nice, så får man säga att man får en liten vick in någonstans där. Då står de dubblas i, så ligger det lite. Måste vi nästan skjuta dubbel där sen. Det är så att vi i bästa fall påtvingar rätt. Vicka upp så blir samma sak egentligen. Då kan de sätta trippen också. Jag gillar nästan den här, även om vi bara vickar in i den så att säga. Få en touch på den, upp gör inte så mycket heller.
Lite jobbigt ifall du trycker ner min dock.
Ja, fast så länge vi inte trycker den liksom här nere, det går ju inte. Utan trycker bara bort den hit så. Behöver inte få ut den här, utan bara flytta på den här låsningen.
Om jag bara, vet det...
Ifall de drar här liksom.
Fast Niklas, om jag bara slår och vickar ut då?
Ja, då sätter de väl trippeltangeringen så att säga. Alltså så att vi hamnar här och så. Då spelar han ju den, sitter kvar där. Då måste vi skjuta den där. Ja. Den är inte svår i och för sig, men säg att man bränner den, då ligger det lite.
Också.
Säg att man bränner den, då ligger det lite.
1 or 2 issues here. The yellow could spring onto that back red and still lie in the back of the house. And they're examining how they can hit that yellow that they can see and still somehow or another move the other one out from the front of that red stone, which is very hard to do really. He's got to just spring it sideways by coming very, very narrowly off that yellow on the right as we look at it. So Oscar Eriksson, the 5th man here. Pia Lindholm on the right is the national coach for Sweden. And Eva Lund on the left is the team coach.
Jag gillar egentligen chappen, så då har vi väldigt bra kontroll på det. Får jag lite vikt ut, gör inte det så mycket heller. Och så
Får vi lite kuta runda dem igen.
It's taking a long time over this shot.
Ja, men rundar dem där, då kan man ju smälla ner det.
Man vill slippa göra den där, alltså så länge vi kan...
Ja.
Be a little bit careful. They've worked hard to get to their 5-3 lead and have the last stone here in the 8th.
Tjock halv.
Ja.
Don't want to give it all up. Give 2 back. Or only... Don't think they would be all that worried if they only picked up 1 here, but certainly looking at ways of trying to make it 2.
I think the call was to hit the yellow stone where his broom is first and then roll over and possibly move that other yellow over as well.
So here we go, big speed from Croup. And a narrow line here to catch the inside of this yellow stone. Well, they had a long look at that, and that was really the danger. I don't think you can get an angle too much and hit the one coming back the way, which is in front of the one you're aiming for first of all. So he caught as little as he could of the stone, but of course it simply removed his own shot and left the yellow stone still lying there. Now there's a chance for Schneetel to hit the red and roll across to lie 2. And it would force Edin probably to pick up a single point here.
This Czech team, their best appearance at the Worlds was an 8th place finish in 2011. Obviously hoping to improve upon that this year. They're 2-2 heading into this game against Sweden. 2 victories matches their total of all of last year, so 1 more and they'll be better than that.
So Schneetel hits on the nose to lie 2. And I'm pretty sure this will force Edin to play a draw around behind or closer to the middle than those 2 Czech stones.
Over on sheet B, Norway and Finland. Last draw for Thomas Ulsrud of Norway. Trying to chip out and stick, but he will roll off, and it's just a single point for Norway. So they take a 5-3 lead over Finland through 7 ends.
Ganska rakt.
So 3 stones to go in this end. 2 for Niklas Edin and 1 for Schneetel. Big weight once again. And Edin is out shooting Schneetel by almost 20% here.
Just peels off the top guard.
Yeah, that wasn't really what he had in mind. He's certainly hoping to catch the Yellowstone behind there as well. As it is, Schneetel lies 2 in the front of the house.
Tvůj jsme metli pak, no, já myslím, že takhle ten let je akorát.
90, no. Indro. Měla být ta rychlost.
So the Czechs lie 2. I think the indication was a tap back on one of those yellow stones.
So a really good tap up would be right into the 4-foot circle is what's required here by Schnittel to try to get the steal of a point.
He's over curling.
Well, it blocks the way into the 4-foot a bit.
Well, the Czechs lie 3, but knowing Nicholas Edin, he's looking at a triple. Is there a triple takeout for 2? I don't think so. I think he's just going to. Looks like he's hitting that stone that Kraup's broom is on and going to roll inside for a single point. And that crowd cheer that you hear in the background was a 7-2 victory for Canada. They improved to 4-0, defeating Switzerland 7-2.
And here we are, last stone of the 8th end for Nicholas Edin. Going for the hit, and he needs to just roll fractionally across to outcount that stone for 1, which he does perfectly. And he will pick up a single point here in the 8th end to increase the lead for Sweden to 6-3.
je dobře, teď udělají třeba chybu. Tlačíme do té dvojky. A oni už ji udělali.
Over to China and Russia. Last rock of the 8th end, sorry. Russian skip Andrei Drozdov. Sweepers are right off it. Looking for the double takeout, I believe, for 1, but it's a Chinese steal. So China leads 6-2 through 8 ends of play over there. We are inside the Save On Foods Memorial Center in Victoria, British Columbia, Canada for the 2013 Ford World Men's Curling Championships. Our play is on sheet C, Sweden taking on the Czech Republic. Sweden leading 6-3, playing the 9th end now. Victor Schell will just throw his second stone right through the house. They don't want any rocks in play. Can't remove the check guard because of the free guard zone. So they'll just throw the stone to the boards. The Czechs will put up a second corner guard now.
Vypadá na delší dojezd tady na té straně. Permanentně. Super.
And now the peels will come now that we're on to second stones. Frederick Lindberg will peel this Czech corner guard. Another corner guard will come up from Kitzberger.
Větší dojezd. Větší dojezd, když se netočí vůbec.
Jep, co nejdál. Pojď. Aro, pojď. Pojď si to, pojď ještě. Pojď ještě.
Actually went in behind the corner guard instead of throwing up a second corner. Sweden will peel that corner guard off now. Kitzberger will now guard the rock that he threw into the house. I think that overcurled. That yellow stone in the 8-foot is exposed. The Dean puts down the broom for Krupp to peel that one out. It's Martin Schnittel's turn now to try to hide one behind that wide corner guard. This one is buried. Might be able to see a sliver on the outside of it. They'll try to peel out the stone in the house. If they're tight and they peel the guard off, that's fine too. Nicely done by Kraup. Doesn't look good here for Team Czech Republic to generate a deuce. Anything they put in play gets peeled away by the Swedes. Try and hide another one behind this corner guard now. You saw the last one was exposed by an eighth of a rock and they were still able to pick it out. This one comes up short, doesn't even make it to the house.
So no forcing of the play by Schnittel to cause Edin any concerns. They're just ignoring the two guards on the left at this stage. 3 up they are, lie one in the top of the 4-foot circle. Chance to lie a second shot here. Looking at keeping play away from these guards and going in the other direction away from them, drawing the Czechs to that side of the house as well in the process where there are no guards. So 6-3 then as we come to skip stones here in the 9th end. The brothers Schnittel unable to deal with the solid play of the Swedish champions. Skipped by Edin here. Niklas Edin. Seems to be fully recovered from his back injury last year anyway.
This is more the kind of performance we expected from Team Sweden and Niklas Edin. You saw him curling 98% through 7 ends. He's the 2-time defending bronze medalist at this event. Certainly would expect them to be playing on the weekend in the playoffs.
Don't think about wanting to defend his bronze medalist.
No.
But
he is the defending bronze medalist. He'd gladly traded up for a gold this year.
Well, I think they've certainly been showing a bit more of the type of play they're renowned for today, but also tempering that with a conservative approach to it and not taking really any risks. But throughout this game they have dictated almost every move and pushed the play to Schnittel having to be reactive rather than being able to have any way of forcing the play towards Niklas Edin and his team. Hasn't been the most interesting game of all time, but it has been a classic example of how to wear your opponents down, which Edin has most certainly done. And another poor shot from the Czechs. They had to be frozen right onto one of these stones, that centre stone. So Edin will just lift that out of there. They won't mind well, I don't know if he will do that actually. Kraup having a look at some alternatives.
They're looking at lining up, putting another one in there, lining up 3 along the tee line.
Absolutely, and with that, the only chance that Schnittel will have will be to take a point.
jag slida lite lösare, inte trycka till lite.
with this last stone. He had to freeze that last one right on the centre stone so that he might have had the chance to get 2 here, but now there is almost no chance of that.
Ni har en. Borde vara 10 själv minst. Heden närmast, heden närmast. Här nere. Bara bak 4, bara bak 4. Bara bak 4.
This one's just a little bit firm. He has to lie third shot, really, which he does. So the stones are quite well spread. And now Schnitzel just going to try and come past the front stone of his own and tap that back for a single point. Tap the stone back for a single point. You can see from the last stone just how quick the heads are.
Welcome you back inside our continuing coverage of the Ford World Men's Curling Championship.
So the last stone here in the 9th end belongs to Yeji Schnittel. And he's playing controlled tap back here on the Swedish stone. Watch the line here, has to pass the guard, must tap and lie first shot, which he does. So the score now moves to 6-4 in favour of Sweden, who will go down the last end with the advantage of the hammer. Czechs never having the chance to score more than a point, and most times forced into taking the point by the tactics and strategy deployed by Nicholas Edin. So welcome back to the final end, scheduled end anyway, of the Ford World Men's Curling Championship game here, which features Sweden against the Czech Republic. Nicholas Edin and his Swedes winning 6-4 with the last stone advantage coming home. And they have been in control throughout, it has to be said. And especially since getting a 3-1 lead in the third end, where they scored the first of their 2 2s in this game.
Ganska mjuk. Ganska mjuk. Bara fine, Niklas.
Victor Schell. Looking to push this stone off to the wing and run his shooter out of play. Well, that's perfectly played. It will remain. It had to not touch the boards there and stay in play. The yellow checked stone. As you can see, Victor Schell got it absolutely to perfection. It's out of use so far as the checks are concerned, but still in play critically. So Marek Vidra, his last second stone here in the 10th end. Centre guard, and Edin will indicate the same kind of shot again for Victor Schall, just to touch a quarter of the stone, move it away off to the side, leaving it in play and run his shooter to the board. This one's a bit firmer, so needs to be careful not to catch too much of the check stone or it will come back. Well, this one's too heavy, I think. Yes, certainly is. It's going to hit the board, so it will be back in the place it was before.
So a slight glimmer of hope for the Czechs. They need a couple more misses from the Swedes, though.
So Czech Republic have to steal 2 points here to tie the game. Edin, of course, has last stone advantage. Kitzberger, second for the Czechs. Just trying to keep these stones as far apart as possible. Well, it's another short one. Fredrik Lindberg trying to remove the 2 stones here, just coming over the top of the second one, running a shooter out of play. Schnittel indicating to go for the guard out in front.
Both these teams are off this evening. They'll get back at it tomorrow morning. Sweden will take on the Swiss, and Czech Republic faces Canada. So things don't get any easier for the Czech Republic.
With this loss, it will take Sweden onto a 4-win, 1-loss record. Sorry, with this win, it will take Sweden onto a 4-win, 1-loss record, and if the Czechs do indeed lose, which it's looking highly likely, they will go to 2 wins and 3 losses. So, going to be tough for them to get to the playoffs at the end of the week. Lindberg's second stone here. Just the straight peel. Off it goes. The shooter hits the boards. So, still just the 1 guard out in front, belonging to the Czechs. See what Jiří Schnittel calls for this time. So we're on to third stones. Martin Schnittel. Third for the Czech Republic. So just trying to come round this time. Must lie top of the 4-foot, guarded. Well, good shot from Martin Schnittel. He's got that one in the right spot.
And our second handshakes of the afternoon. China will move to 4-1 after winning both their games today. They defeated Russia, who remains winless. Russia drops to 0-5.
So, meanwhile, Nicholas Edin removes the one remaining guard. And the play now in the house, which suits Edin. Czechs have to pick up 2 to tie the game, and they don't have the last stone. Trying to replace that guard with this shot. Pretty well played, it's pretty much dead in line. And Edin will attempt to remove this one too. Czechs now running out of stones here. So another successful removal of the guard. By Sebastian Kraup. We're down to skip stones.
Here's a live update now on sheet B. You see Norway lying 4. Aku Kauste with the final stone. Needing to draw for a single point to trim the lead to 5-4 for Norway. Needs to bite the forefoot, and he will get there. So that's 1 point for Finland in the 9th end. Norway will have a 5-4 lead with the hammer coming home.
Back in our game, the guard replaced for the last time in this game. Edin going for the raised takeout on it, I think. He won't mind if he just splits it. Oh, very close.
Narrowly.
But I think the options are just about finished for Schniedel. He'll put this stone in the house somewhere, and Edin will hit it out. And the game will be Sweden's.
Yeah, there's no good option here. They could draw behind the guard, but then that shot stone is still exposed. They could guard their shot stone, but obviously one of them would still be exposed. Edin just needs to remove one for the victory.
So the game has been controlled by Sweden all the way through. Not going to win by too many shots, but a win's a win. So Jiří Schnittel, 71% for his draws. So he should be able to get this in the house somewhere anyway. They'd have to sweep quite hard if they do want it in them. If he fails to make it, then the game is lost. Just into the front edge. And Edin sitting in the hack, ready to go at the other end. Just needs Kraup to give ice on that stone in the centre. And Edin will try and hit this one on the nose for a point. And the win. Never in doubt. Nicholas Edin hits and sticks for one. And with it, victory over the Czech Republic by 7 shots to 4. Sweden will move on to a 4-win, 1-loss record, only losing to China. Meanwhile, the Czechs dropped down to 3 losses and just 2 wins.
Grattis på födelsedagen, mamma.
There's a happy Nicholas Edin. Richard is just heading down to speak to him. Sweden won both their games to climb up into a second place tie with China at 4-1. Our next and we'll head over to the completion of the Finland-Norway game.
Well, back inside the Save on Foods Memorial Center, you see skips there now. Norway and Finland.
Norway is up 5-4 with the hammer, playing in the 10th end.
Tick shot on the first one.
Norway sitting at 2-1.
Center line guard out front.
Finland 0-3. Last game in action on the ice this afternoon.
Use the sweeping in order to make that tick shot. This is a lone game out on the ice.
Here now is Norwegian third, Thomas Levold. Sorry, that's actually Havard Pedersen. Filling in at third for Torger Nergard, who is back home awaiting the birth of a child. Pauli Jamish is the Finnish second. Finland lies 2 now. They need a steal to send this game to an extra end. Just a center line guard from Jamish. Norway will peel that. Changes his mind on the turn. Going to try to get rid of one of those red stones in the house as well. Christopher Sva is the second. And he will get one of the rocks in the house.
Steal away a win.
Another center line guard put up. Another chance for Norway to peel it off. Thomas Olsrud eyeing up the stone in the house as well. He'd like to get rid of both of these red rocks. He'll just get a nose hit.
Perfect setup they had going for this one.
Christopher SWE had been throwing a perfect game up to that point. So Finland can now draw behind that guard. Jani Sulanmaa is the third. He'll put it on the top of the button behind cover. Looks like they're going to play the one in the house rather than peel the guard. Thomas Lovold playing third for Norway this week. Take it out with quiet weight. Norway lies one. Kauste will ignore that stone and draw another one behind the centerline guard. So they draw in behind for shot stone. Now Ulsrud will peel away the centerline guard. Lovold will peel off the guard. Finland lies one. They need to steal to send this game to an extra end. Norway leads 5-4 with the hammer here in the 10th. Aku Kauste, the Finnish skip.
Ei vielä. Puoliväli riittää. Suunta on hyvä. Ei vielä. Ei. Irti. Lapus vähän se. Pientä. Lapussa. Pientä. Jop. Ei. Pientä vaan. Jop.
Looking to guard their shot stone. And it won't. It'll come up short. Shot stone is exposed. I think the guard might still be a problem for Norway if they need to end up drawing for the win. It could be in the way. Looks like they will play the one in the house. Thomas Ulsrud, the Norwegian skip. He'll hit the shot stone and roll out into the open. And Finland will call timeout to see what they can decide to play with their final stone. Norway lies first and second shot, but Finland needs a steal to tie the game. Finnish coach Una Kauste making her way down. Looks like they might have made the decision without her, though. Last stone for Finland's Aku Kauste. He needs this to be a counter. Needs this to be shot stone. 78% on draws thus far in the game. Needs to bury this behind that centerline guard. He will wreck on the front, and Thomas Ulsrud does not need to throw his final stone. It'll be 2 for Norway without even throwing his last rock. So Norway will pick up their third victory. They move to 3-1. They'll play again tonight against Denmark. Finland loses their fourth game of the competition. They are 0-4. They'll face Japan tonight. So our feature game was Sweden and the Czech Republic. Sweden picked up a single point in the first. The Czechs replied with a single in the second. Big deuce from the Swedes in the third. And in the sixth end, Niklas Edin already lying shot stone, looking for a hit and stick to pick up a second deuce of the game. And he will do that. He rolls out to the side a little bit, but that's good enough for his deuce to go up 5-2 onto the eighth now. The Czechs lying 3 rather than drawing. Edin plays a hit and a slight roll to the inside to bite the 8-foot and pick up another single to go up 6-3. And we headed then to the ninth. The Czechs facing 2 Swedish counters. E.G. Snittel was chasing Niklas Edin all game long. Could never generate more than a single point. Here he taps for his 1 to go 6 to trail 6-4. And then in the 10th, Sweden would hit and stick for a single point and a 7-4 victory. They move to 4-1 into second place. Other scores here in draw 7. China defeated Russia 6-3. We saw the end of Norway defeating Finland 7-4, and the Canadians remain undefeated at with a 7-2 victory over Switzerland. So the standings after 7 draws, Canada remains the only undefeated team. They're 4-0. China and Sweden each won both their games today. They're in second at 4-1. Scotland and Norway right behind with 3-1 records. Then you have the 2-loss teams, Switzerland and Denmark. Czech Republic drops to 2-3. Japan and United States will play their 5th games tonight. They're 1-3. Finland and Russia still looking for their first victory this week. Here's Nicholas Edin downstairs.
So a really solid game there. Were you happy with the result?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, that was the best game by far from our team, and it was really solid, and we controlled the game.
I think I noticed a more conservative strategy.
Not at all, actually. We tried to go more offensively, but since we got that early lead, we had to just keep the lead, and that's why it turned defensively.
How are you going to play the rest of the games? More attacking or more defensive?
More attacking, like we did this game and the last game as well. We've tried to play the same strategy against the USA, but we got a bad start, and that turned into a whole different situation. And this time we played really good and got an early deuce and lead by 2, and then it's just stupid to play offensively, so we just kept the lead and made it a pretty simple game at the end.
Chances of getting to the playoffs?
Really good, I'd say. We've always been big favorites to reach the playoffs, and I think we're our biggest opponents ourselves. If we can just keep up the level and play as we did this game, we will be in the playoffs.
Well done, and thank you very much.
Thank you.
So Nicholas Edin back on track, it would seem, as Sweden wins both their games today to move into second place with a 4-1 record. We will join you again this evening for the Denmark-Norway game. For Richard Harding, I'm Rick Watson. Thank you for joining us from Victoria, British Columbia, Canada for the 2013 Ford World Men's Curling Championships. So long.